revenue sharing in sports leagues has revolutionized the way leagues has done business in terms of distributing money. In broad terms, revenue sharing is basically the amount of money that each team pays for the right to play each other. Each franchise in the sports league generates a portion amount of money of their revenue into a pool, and then that money in that pool is basically distributed evenly throughout all the franchises of the league. All the monies, of course, are handled by the league. Now, this has its upsides and its downsides. Personally, myself, I actually like revenue sharing in that form, and I'll tell you why. Because there's so many markets throughout the United States, big markets, small markets, and not everyone in all markets are as fanatic or enthusiast about actually going to the ballparks and watching the games, or going to the stadiums and watching football games, or buying the team merchandise. For instance, a franchise in Oklahoma City, of course, like the Thunder, I can imagine that their revenue, their team revenue, will not be as high as, let's say, a team like the New York Yankees, of course, the king of all sports teams. And for instance, if the team basically generates the revenue throughout the board, it makes it a little fair so the teams that have a smaller market to receive a portion of revenue to help keep the team, to help keep basically the franchise going. I also understand the other side of it, of how bigger markets that make a lot of revenue feel that maybe they shouldn't contribute to a team that might not run their team as efficiently. An example is you have two owners. One owner has poured his heart out into his franchise, has done great business moves, has actually worked very hard to make his franchise successful, as opposed to another owner who has not done the work that he's needed to do to make his franchise successful. And the owner that has a successful franchise has to basically cough up some of his revenue and give it to the guy that really hasn't done what is expected of him. I can understand how that can be stressful, but sometimes you have to look in the big scheme of things. And for the league to be successful, and I feel the NFL has been probably the most successful sports franchise we have, and their revenue sharing has worked. So revenue sharing does. So it's proven that revenue sharing does work. So I do agree with revenue sharing. The English Premier League does not do revenue sharing in terms of the way the NFL does. They work more in a capitalistic state, and if you really look at it, how important is the English Premier League, especially here in the United States? And here in the United States, your sports franchise flourish. You're making a lot of money. So I personally am for revenue sharing, and I hope it sticks. Thank you.